Welcome to Pwned.
It's what 15 minutes of news and features on the latest EA games might feel like if you're watching it on some sort of screen.
Coming up as part of that experience,
Matt goes to the Art of Flight premiere and meets a man who flies through the air with nothing but a board strapped to his feet for real. Take that, Silver Surfer.
Todd Batty explains how you'll need to execute some of those very same snow-based flying skills to plant geotags in SSX.
In a worrying and potentially offensive development, the Pwned Computer gets all street honours.
And perhaps you too can stop being beaten 10-0 by 5-year-olds after Darren Cross from Match Magazine comes into the studio to give us some FIFA 12 tips. As we have a bunch of SSX and general snow-related stuff on the show today, we thought, why don't we give away one of these babies?
That's right, one of you special Pwned viewers could win this extraordinarily cool snowboard signed by the Art of Flight and SSX star Travis Rice.
And even if you can't snowboard, when SSX comes out, you can strap it to your feet whilst you're playing the game to get yourself in the zone.
Good idea. SSX also has a serious soundtrack, so we thought we'd give away one of these bad boys, a SteelSeries gaming headset.
So how do I win these prizes, I hear you ask? Well, like a cast member of The Only Way is Essex, it's rather simple. All you have to do is go to the website by clicking the link above our heads.
And once you're there, enter the competition, obviously. That bit really is crucial.
Continuing our coverage of snow-based shenanigans, the SSX team have just revealed their GeoTag system for the game.
We could explain it to you now, but it would seem churlish to do so when we have footage of the game's executive producer, Todd Batty, telling Matt all about it.
GeoTags is a really cool feature in SSX. So in early days when we decided we were going to build a massive world, one of the things we wanted to put in that world was collectibles. And so it's a tremendous amount of work to figure out where and how to place collectibles around, literally hundreds of drops around the world. In early days, sort of as a solution to that problem, and what ended up becoming a really cool feature is we thought, what if we empowered players to put collectibles in the world for us? I don't know if anybody's ever done in a game sort of user-created collectibles.
I think so.
Yeah, so we came up with the idea of geotags, and the way it works is as you play in the game, you earn geotags. You can also purchase them in the store. A geotag is meant to be placed anywhere in the world. As soon as you drop it anywhere, it becomes visible for anybody who's playing online to be able to see. And as soon as it's placed, it starts to earn you credits. It starts to earn you money in the game. But as soon as anybody can see it, they can collect it, and they can pick it up, and when they collect it, they earn all the money. So the idea is you need to place it somewhere where other people are obviously going to see it, but that they can't get to it or they can't collect it, which is exactly where you put collectibles. So it can be, I started this run super fast, and then I jumped, and I popped my jump right at the right time, and I had a super boost board, and I got really, really high in the air. I'm going to place my geotag at the absolute apex of my jump, and everyone can see it, but they can't quite reach it or they can't quite jump to it. Or you find hidden areas in the game. We're already finding on the dev team people placing, we find these huge collections of geotags in these little hidden areas that even sometimes I forgot we created in the world. It's a really rich feature. We think people are going to have a lot of fun with it.
More on people getting air on snow later on in the show, but first, Matt, what is that?
It's my backwards baseball cap. I'm being street because we're about to link into FIFA Street.
Here's our Pwned Computer talking to Sid Misra, the line producer on FIFA Street.
Street.
God's sake.
Identify yourself.
My name is Sid Misra and I'm the line producer on FIFA Street.
What time do you get up for work?
The time I get up for work is kind of dependent on when my son gets up, so anytime between sort of 5 a.m. till 8 a.m.
What is the first game you ever played?
First game I ever played was this kind of Pong knockoff. It was this box I had that was basically Pong. We had two knobs on it. You turn the knobs and this ball goes back and forth and you have these two sticks, and I thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever played.
How street are you? Do you know what grime is?
I know there's a sort of London grime, which is the sort of a music style we've been trying to source for FIFA Street.
What movie would you like to see made into a game?
I don't know, maybe something like Eat, Pray, Love. There's not enough sort of romantic games out there.
What football team do you support?
Unfortunately right now my favorite team is Arsenal, so we're kind of wallowing at the moment.
Can you show me some skills?
Can I show you some skills? What kind of skills are we looking for?
Ball skills.
Ball skills. Couldn't do that on camera probably, and I'm sure my wife would not be impressed if I knew any, really.
Why wouldn't his wife be impressed?
I don't know, because I don't have one. But if I did, I bet she wouldn't be as good at FIFA 12 as Darren Cross from Match Magazine, who coincidentally is in the studio with us now.
What are the chances?
I know, check it out.
Hey.
Hi guys.
Welcome
How
to
you
the
doing?
show, Darren. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Darren, I've got 2 questions for you. Can you make me better at FIFA? And if so, how?
Yes, I definitely can make you better at FIFA. How's your defending?
To be honest, not great. If I do score 3, maybe I let in 4 or 5, so not brilliant.
9 or 10?
No, well, once I've let in 10 once, which wasn't great.
Well, I don't think you're alone there. I think there are a lot of players out there that could do with tips on defending, so let's start there.
Now, of course, the defensive system's been completely overhauled this year, so what are your top tips?
Well, there's a whole bunch of them to go through actually, but I think first and foremost we should talk about jockeying.
Okay, so take us through jockeying.
The idea with containing is that you eventually progress to manual jockeying, and there are 2 good reasons to do that. First and foremost, by jockeying you protect key areas on the pitch while keeping your back to goal, so you're not over-committing in other areas. And secondly, when you jockey effectively, you will automatically win the ball. The game will actually auto-tackle for you, so you don't need to think about the standing tackle too much, which is a feature that has caused people a bit of confusion. You can see in this clip how I'm using the jockey button and then the left stick to control my movement, and what I'm doing is I'm blocking the areas of the pitch that I don't want him to go, thereby dictating where he can go. All that while I'm closing the distance, and eventually the game auto-tackles for me and I can see the corner.
Okay, so next up we've got keeping your shape. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, this is really important. So in FIFA 12, when you contain, there's still the temptation to hold that button down and follow somebody around the pitch.
Classic mistake that I would make.
Yeah, it's exactly what people did in FIFA 11 with the press button, and what it does is it destroys your formation, both defensively, because you all follow the ball around like schoolboys, and then when you get the ball back, it ruins you again because you've got nobody to give it to because they're all in one spot. So basically, by keeping your shape, instead of doing that and following people around, you select players in areas of the pitch as the ball moves around. So when the ball comes over to the side where you've got a left midfielder, you select him. When it goes back into the centre, you select your central midfielder. And all this is happening quickly, so what you're not doing is following the ball with one person and leaving huge holes.
So Darren, the video we've got coming up now is secondary contain. Do you want to just tell us what's going on here? Yeah,
so secondary contain works very much like secondary press in FIFA 11, is that basically you're controlling the defender and then you call a teammate in to help you out. The 2 important things about secondary contain is that there's a very good way to use it and then a very wrong way to use it. In this clip you can see how eventually, as Carroll moves the ball on, I select John Terry and mark his teammate, and then I panic, I hold secondary contain, David Luiz runs towards the ball, leaves a huge hole for Andy Carroll to run into, and really he should score there.
He really should. I mean, £30 million, is he worth it?
I think it was 35 actually.
35?
So, yeah.
Oh my word, that's I tried to take 5 off as a Liverpool fan. I'm a bit embarrassed about it. Not good. So how should you use secondary contain?
Yeah, so the secondary contain is fine when you're using it out wide. I mean, I would completely avoid using it in central areas. A lot of people panic, they hold all the buttons they can and then everybody closes in, and that's when you leave gaps like that, as we just saw. The way to use it is out wide. Like in this clip you can see I'm containing the player with the player that I'm controlling, and then I call in a teammate out wide to help me win the ball back, which we do.
New in FIFA 12 is pushing and pulling. Now, it sounds a bit like cheating to me. What is it?
It is a little bit like cheating, but it's actually quite underused and it's a really useful feature. So basically, when you're behind the player that is running with the ball, you can press your standing tackle button and then your player will try or push and pull them back or just generally unbalance them. And it gives you a really good opportunity to win the ball back. You very rarely get pulled up for pushing and pulling in the box, so if a striker goes through on you, hammer that button, hammer that button. And
is that what you do?
Absolutely, yeah, and I've never had a penalty given against me for it. However,
is that when you're desperate?
That is absolutely when I'm desperate, yeah. Outside the box, the referee will call you up for it all the time. Inside the box, it doesn't happen so much. And the really key moment to do it is when they're about to strike the ball. If they're about to pass or about to shoot, give them a push or a pull, they'll unbalance them, the ball will go out of play 9 times out of 10.
Would you say that's a good alternative to a slide tackle and getting a man sent off?
Absolutely, yeah.
And any other tips for us?
Yes, absolutely. You can actually use the D-pad in the game, and that helps you out with defending. And again, a lot of people don't really use it that often. One of the tools I like especially is offside trap. So just as the striker is about to be played in by the midfielder, I'll initiate the offside trap, defence rush out, caught offside, you get the ball back. However, if you get it wrong, it's game over. You're in big trouble.
So how do you do it?
So this is all about timing really. So just as you see the midfielder about to play the ball to the striker, double tap up on the keypad and you should see your defence surge forward and stick their arms in the air.
And are you using classic or alternate mode there?
I play with the alternate game mode, but it actually works across all game modes. It's the same buttons to initiate the offside trap.
Darren, thanks for coming on the show and sharing your words of wisdom with us. Every day's a school day, isn't it, Sian?
It is indeed.
If you want to get more tips on FIFA 12, Darren has written the Match FIFA 12 Game Guide, which is out now. From football to freefall now.
Yet somehow Matt got invited to the premiere of the new snowboarding film, The Art of Flight.
So before you strap on a snowboard and jump out of a helicopter in SSX, which comes out next year, here's a chance to watch some people who do it for real.
Where's my invite?
You didn't get one. These people behind me are going in to see Art of Flight, which is a new movie about people jumping out of helicopters and sliding down some of the most deadly descents in the world. No, they're not suicidal. They are in fact extreme snowboarders with a screw loose. Travis Wright is one of those boarders, and not only does he star in the new movie, he also features in the forthcoming SSX game. Let's get extreme. Actually, I think I'll just go and interview him instead. You go to the top of a mountain in a helicopter, you jump out of it, and then you go down a slope that no one has ever been down before. Why?
Why not, my friend? Why not? We get a kick out of doing strange things out there, no doubt.
So you're doing the UK tour and the world tour as well. What's the reception been to the movie?
And so far, like people, the reception's been unreal.
You're in the new SSX game. How did that come about?
It's a funny way that the SSX came together with us in particular. The developers for this game, they basically scratched everything, went back to the drawing board, spent 3 years working on this game. These guys have spent so much time in developing it. We kind of came into the scene a little bit later. You know, since we've been able to, you know, collaborate towards creating something that is a little bit more authentic.
Do you like your likeness in the game? Do you think it looks like you?
Yeah, I think that they did an amazing job, and you know, I'm confident in saying that definitely best looking character in the game.
I'm really jealous. I've always wanted to be in a video game.
I'm telling you, the bonus is you can play with yourself all night and you don't have to feel guilty about it.
Is there anything in the game you can do that you wish you could do in real life?
Oh man, if I could have anything, I think it would be the rewind button. You know, if you got any wish, you know, a lot of people say, oh man, I wish I had fly, I wish I had $1 billion, whatever. I wish I had the rewind button. Imagine if every situation you ever dealt with, you could rewind and reverse it.
Do you ever think, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? Or is it just something you really enjoy?
Don't get me wrong, there's been a few times where I've been up there and been like, God, what have I gotten myself into? No doubt. You know, I got the sack to say no. I think, if anything, it takes more balls to say no and pull back than it does to say, oh, sure, let's do this. Oh. You! Avalanches are a constant risk, no doubt about it. They're out there. You do your best to predict it. But essentially, the more you know, sometimes the less you know, because you think you can predict it, and you put yourself in situations where you think you're going to be okay because you know enough to predict it. And so it's a fine line you walk. We pick lines that have the ability to get out of, or worst case scenario, have the ability to be saved from.
What bit of advice would you give me as a beginner to intermediate snowboarder to get better?
The best analogy I could give is the Zen approach to firing a bow. So if you were to break down shooting an arrow into a target, you know, it's not about pulling it back and trying to hit the target. It's about perfecting every motion. Stance, breath, you know, positioning, release. And if you're able to perfect every single one of those minute little details, then your arrow has no other choice but to hit the bullseye.
Tell you what, after watching that, I'm surprised any of them are still alive. If you want to try it yourself without running the risk of killing yourself to death, then you can do so by playing SSX when it comes out on February the 17th.
Well, that's it for another show. Thanks so much for watching, and do get in touch. We do appreciate all your comments.
Don't forget, you can win a signed snowboard and a SteelSeries gaming headset by going to the website. To get there, just click on the link above. While you're there, why don't you join us at YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
We'll leave you with some more ways of entertaining yourself on EA Vision. Remember, the internet isn't just for looking at naked people.
Why do you say that?
Bye.